Hey, welcome back to the Club Junkie Podcast. Hopefully you're having a great week. It's Thursday, and we're back at it. It's time to go. So it's crazy. This is getting to the end of summer. It's already the middle of September. Yeah, it's crazy how fast this summer is going by. I feel like I haven't played enough golf. I think I say that every single year, but it is what it is. We got to try to get some rounds in before the weather turns. But before we get into today's episode, just want to let you know it is brought to you by Titleist and the new GT series of drivers. In pursuit of speed and playable distance, Titleist engineers developed a new material construction that unlocks the next generation of driving excellence. The new GT drivers represent the biggest technological leap ever in Titleist driver design. Inside the head, a new split mass construction positions weight both forward and back to optimize speed, launch angle, and spin to the specific player needs for each GT driver model. The GT2, speed and forgiveness, GT3, speed and control, and the GT4, the ultimate low-spin performance. From the outside, GT drivers feature a stunning, seamless thermoform crown, presenting a classic, confident package that feels as good as it looks. The GT2, GT3, when I was hitting them out at TPI, honestly look identical, and I had no idea they were multi-material until I went inside and saw the tech presentation. It was kind of crazy. The GT's new crown construction also includes a proprietary matrix polymer never before used in golf. This ultra-lightweight material offers a versatile performance of composite while delivering Titleist's signature sound and feel. Experience a new class of drivers with the Titleist GT. To learn more about each GT model and find a fitting event near you, visit Titleist.com. So, yeah, it's been crazy. I can't believe, like I said, the summer's almost gone. We're middle of September. It feels like just yesterday. It was like beginning of June. So, yeah, really, really crazy. But trying to get some more golf in. Have actually my first charity scramble coming up this weekend. I can't wait. My buddy, I was talking to my buddy John about it. I think next week's show, I'm going to get into, for next week's show, I'm going to do a little breakdown of what's in the bag for my charity scrambles, because it's kind of set up a little different. I actually kind of built a little Frankenstein club that I think is going to go with me, and yeah, it's just it's kind of a different setup. I always get into a charity scramble thing, and I'm out there, realize that oh, I'm never going to use this club, I'm never going to use that club. Why did I bring that? I should have brought something else. So we'll see. I've got some theories on my charity scramble bag, and that's the charity scramble. You're playing 4-person scramble. You're playing probably from more slightly up tees. You're going to have some, you're probably going to have a lot of driver wedge into a lot of holes. You're not going to hit a lot of 3-woods. You're not going to play it safe with a hybrid off the tee. So I've got a little more aggressive setup that I think will be interesting. And so I think I'm going to do that next week, which is pretty cool. I was going to do it this week, but I had some clubs that I hit and I wanted to talk about. So we're going to skip over to that. But I'm going to do that because, like I said, we're doing our first. Usually I do a couple charity scrambles throughout the year. This year I'm just doing one. So my usual Hope for Hoffman's one, which I really love. It's always a great time. Good bunch of people, and we raise some money for a great cause. So we'll be doing that this weekend. I'm actually going to play with myself, my wife, my buddy John, and one of his friends. So we got a mixed group. It's like the 1 or 2 times my wife gets out and plays. The downside is she's kind of got a bum knee right now. She just had an MRI on it, so we don't know what's wrong with it. So I don't know how many shots she's going to be able to really hit, but we'll have a good time, have a couple beverages, we'll have some laughs, and that's what it's all about. So we're not going to win it. There's a couple stack groups every year that pretty much fight for the title. So we won't be that one, but we'll still have some fun. We'll make some birdies, and it'll be a good time. So yeah, today been hitting a decent amount of stuff. I know I did my Q&A today, or yesterday, I should say. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please do at Club Junkie Pod. I do a Q&A session every Wednesday. I try to do it every Wednesday. Sometimes if I'm traveling or something like that, it gets skipped. But I usually do it on this account. Every once in a while, I do it on the main Golf the BRX account. So just look for me there. But follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of stuff about gear and all that, what I'm hitting. So I was out yesterday, or I'll call it today. I was out yesterday hitting clubs, because I'm recording this on a Wednesday night. Was out hitting clubs, set up the net, got the mat out, and started hitting some clubs. So I had some bunch of stuff to hit that I hadn't either gotten on the course or only hit a little bit or played on the course, haven't hit into the launch monitor or anything, but got that thing set up the old Launch Pro. I have the Bushnell Launch Pro. I've got an unlocked version. So full everything, club data, ball data, all that. Yeah, was just hitting some balls out there and had a bunch of 7-irons to hit that I wanted to get some numbers on, and then a handful of driver shafts that I wanted to hit. So had the new Graphic Design GC, the new Hazardous T1100, had those both out there, and also was messing around with one of the Metaflex, the super flexible Metaflex shafts that I just struggle to get those down. Like I'm really having a rough time getting those things dialed in. So I gotta take it up some more, try to hit them some more. But that is the one thing that I do have to say. It's just the way it flexes. It's hard to time it for me or whatever it is, but it just feels way different. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the Mizuno new irons. They've got the Hot Metal. This is actually the Hot Metal Pro. So this is the JPX 925 Hot Metal Pro. And then we also have the standard JPX 925 Hot Metal. So the two new irons here, this series of these Hot Metals I think it kind of took off with the 923s 2 years ago. But now we've got the 925s in. And so basically the Hot Metal, is the standard kind of distance iron that Mizuno has, and then the Hot Metal Pro is going to be the kind of slightly, I would say it's geared more towards a lower handicap, but they're really not that much different in size. Like they're really similar. They don't have a whole lot of difference between the two. I think the size difference in terms of like the actual blade length is like 5 millimeters. So the standard Hot Metal is a little bit longer. It comes in at 85 millimeters, and this thing, the Pro, comes in at 80.9, so 81, so about 4 millimeters difference. So not massive, but you do notice a little different. But these two, I remember at the beginning of the year talking when we do our Fitter's Choice for Golf WRX, talking to a bunch of fitters all over the country, and so many of them were super high on the JPX Hot Metal series, especially the High Launch and some of the others. Just a lot of success fitting these irons into kind of regular golfers. And yeah, these are built for the person who really, wants a little more forgiveness, a little more distance, a little more speed than the Mizuno Pro line gives. So the Pro, 243, 245, while they still do, give some distance, give us some forgiveness, these take it to the next level. So right now in the Hot Metal line, there is the Hot Metal Iron, the Hot Metal Pro, and the Hot Metal HL, the High Launch. I know they're with the 923, there was a Hot Metal Forged, and I believe a Hot Metal Tour. I believe we have not seen any of those yet. Right now, we're just getting these three. So, which was kind of standard because what they did last time, I think they did the same thing with the Forged and the Tour. That we waited until a few months later or so to get those ones when they launched the Hot Metal Pro, Hot Metal, and Hot Metal HL. So very similar, possibly to what they're doing now. We may see the Forged and maybe a Tour or something, later on, maybe later on this year, maybe later on next year. Not 100% sure when we'll see the other ones, or maybe we don't. I don't know. So we'll see. But so these are a multi-piece designed iron. So they have the face and the hosel are all one, and then the back is actually a second piece. And those are laser welded together, and then there's a little badge inside the cavity. So multi-piece design. Face on these, much thinner. They went to a much thinner face. The backing on it is basically for reinforcement and structural integrity to make it stronger, make it flex less. There's still the ribs up in the in the top line to kind of help with sound and feel. And then, yes, this is, I think, the thinnest face than the previous gen. I think it's 30% thinner. And it is basically has a Cortec design, so kind of an oval type, a shaping to it to increase ball speed on mishits. So kind of a new overall design as well. When I first saw the photos of these, I wasn't sure what to think of them. The backing, the badging looks really nice. I mean, it looks really good. But I was kind of like, after the previous ones, the 923s, they were just like big, chunky, had a lot of offset. So when I saw these, it looked like the blade length was long, and I was just kind of like not super excited. I would say not super excited, but I was leery of what these were going to look like come for the 925. So when they showed up, pulled them out of the box, actually look really good. I do have to say they kind of really refined the shape on these. The Pros have very little offset. When you look at the actual specs on these things and you look at offset, the standard one for a 7-iron, the standard Hot Metal is 189 inches in terms of offset, and the Pro is 0.126. So definitely less. I don't know what the previous ones were, but these definitely, just looking at them, when you set down the Pro, it looks really good. I mean, it's thick. It's got a thicker top line. It's a bigger blade. It's got a long blade length, but it doesn't have a ton of offset, and it does look pretty good from address. So I do have to say, Mizuno, big props on the 925 of updating the look. And then the standard hot metal, same thing. It's got a little more offset. It's definitely noticeable. It's got even a thicker top line. But for the player who's looking for more forgiveness, more distance, this is going to give it to them. So usually those irons will have a little of both. Soles also look a little bit narrower compared to previous gen. The 920, the standard hot metal, definitely a little bit wider. Both have a little trailing edge relief kind of ground in there, so they get through the turf pretty quickly and get out of the turf. And then the leading edge is fairly rounded, a little bit of bevel there for for good turf interaction. So overall, really good looking irons. I pretty much was just hitting 7 irons. I have a 4-7 pitch. I don't have full sets, so unfortunately I didn't go out to the course of them, but I did hit them on the launch monitor a bunch. Before getting into numbers or anything, but sound and feel, pretty good. I mean, I do say, I mean, these are not as soft as, say, a Mizuno Pro 241. Like, they're not going to have that level of, like, buttery softness. But for being a multi-piece design, two-piece design, they do feel pretty good. They're a little bit firmer, but when you hit them center, they definitely have kind of that, like, powerful thud that goes. There's a crisp, just a little bit of click. And I do have to say, that click is kind of really handled outside when you get out of the toe, get low in the face, anything like that. It's actually really handled. It doesn't get crazy loud. It's slightly, slightly more audible, but not bad at all. I've had a couple mishits with these when I was hitting them, and really impressed with how well that these things actually sound and felt. I expected a little bit more harsh vibration come to the hands, but definitely didn't get that. These are built out of Mizuno's nickel chromoly, so tons of ball speed. You can really kind of feel the ball kind of jump off the face. It was funny because I brought a couple 7-irons out. I was hitting more of like a one-piece kind of player's cavity before I hit these, and the first shot I think I hit with the standard hot metal was just like, I mean, it felt like it just like came out of a gun. It was just like the ball just, I mean, even into my net, which I was hitting off my mat into my net, definitely saw the ball just jump off the face, and you just felt kind of a little bit more power come out of these compared to the other iron I was hitting. So, but overall, looks really good. Sound and feel is really solid. Both irons, I mean, if you were to blend this set, I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference between the feel between these two. They both sound and feel really good. I was expecting to have like one to be either higher pitch, lower pitch, have different feel than the other, and they really were similar. Hitting them side by side. So if you were to do like some type of combo set, put the standard hot metals in the long irons, go hot metal pros in the short irons, they'd blend really well. 1 and 2, the sound and feel would not change. The cool thing about these two is for a player who's looking for maximum distance, more forgiveness, just easier playable iron. These things, the sound and feel is really good, because a lot of times you get into some of these the irons in this series and this size and all that, and you get some really kind of clunky sounding irons that just don't feel good. They're really loud. They're kind of firm and harsh. And these definitely don't get that. I mean, it's a Mizuno, so Mizuno's not going to let something out that sounds and feels like crap. These things do sound and feel really, really good. And swinging them, it was nice. These things, they both had the stock, just kind of lightweight NS Pro 950, or the NS Pro 950 Geo, or Neo. So these are, or GH Neo. Jeez, I'm sorry. And Nippon NS Pro 950 GH Neo. So these are lightweight steel shafts. I want to say they're in that like 95 gram range. These are just stiff flex. Both of them were identical. These are kind of stock shafts that come in the iron. And I've actually hit these in a couple other irons before. And then they have a stock Lambkin UT Plus grip on here, which I actually really like. The UT Plus is kind of nice. It's a little bit more tacky than the UTXs and stuff before. It's got just a little more tack to it. The rubber just feels a little stickier, and it isn't like some of the Lambkin stuff has been like that plus size where it's almost like they're adding wraps. This is just like a standard size grip, which is really, really nice. So really solid overall package. Looks really nice. They offer these, I think, 4 through sandwich and all the sets. I think the Pro, the HL might be a little different, but the Pro and the, let me see, no, all 4. So, or all three. So Hot Metal Pro, and Hot Metal HL, you can get four through sand wedge. So that's just like gap wedge, or the Hot Metal Pro just runs through gap wedge. Other two run through sand wedge. So if you want to have matching wedges, you can get that in here. And then they also pair up well with the Fly High hybrid. So there is a new Fly High hybrid that they made that actually is the same price as the iron. So if you build a set with Fly High hybrid or two at the top end, it's not going to change the price of the irons, which is pretty cool. So pretty nice, but Mizuno did a good job. I think I like the looks of them. The badging looks nice. It's, chrome. It's got a nice finish to it. It's not anything cheap and funky looking. It's definitely got a nice look to it. But yeah, sound and feel really good. When you hit it a little low in the face, I was expecting to kind of get a little bit of that rough rattle. Didn't get any of that. It was actually much softer than I thought. And to be honest, I hitting them low in the face, which is kind of was my miss today. Actually got up and had a decent apex on those shots, at least from what the GC3 or Launch Pro was showing. But some of those shots I thought were going to have is just zero carry to them, and they definitely carried a little bit farther than I thought. Good shots were crazy long between both these irons. The Hot Metal Pro was probably a club longer than what I usually play. So for me, 7-iron is right, 160. I don't hit irons super long, so 7-iron is like 160 for me. These things, I think the first shot I hit with standard Hot Metal was 178. So definitely longer than what I'm used to. That was like the one nuked shot that I hit, like just absolutely dead center. But everything was basically in a high 160s to low 170s type shot. So definitely longer. Now they are strong. When you look at the lofts, like 7-irons, these are 28-degree 7-irons. They play off a 42-degree pitching wedge and a 19-degree 4-iron. So definitely a little stronger, but they definitely go too. And from hitting it today, I didn't notice anything that was crazy in terms of wild hot spots or anything like that. Everything was pretty consistent within that range. But yeah, good sound and feel. Don't have anything to say about turf interaction. Just having a 4-7 pitch, it's tough to get that out to the course because you just don't know when am I going to hit a 4-iron, when am I going to hit a 7-iron, when am I going to hit a pitching wedge. Like pitching wedge you probably hit, but you got to come into those yardages and it's tough. So I don't think I'll get these out on the course anytime real soon. But hitting them on the mat and everything was still really good. It was really fun. And yeah, sound and feel really solid. I think they did a really nice job with these irons. Like I said, big improvement, I think, over the 923s. People always ask me at Q&As, like, is it worth it for this club, to pay a little bit more to get the newer one or whatever? I think these ones, yeah, I think over the 923s, these are definitely worth it. They're just in terms of the visuals alone, but in the performance of them, and then you add in the visuals, I think you definitely get a great set of irons. So yeah, Hot Metal Pro, Hot Metal, I kind of hit them side by side. And again, thankfully both have the exact same shafts in them. So it was, no, the Pro is a Dynamic Gold 105. Oh man, I thought they had the same shaft. The Pro has a Dynamic Gold 105. So slightly heavier, slightly stiffer, but nothing too crazy. So they actually do have slightly different shaft. I think the HL has the other 950 GO because I knew two sets had the exact same ones. But anyway, hit the Hot Metal Pro with the Dynamic Gold 105. Hit the Hot Metal with the NS Pro GH or NS 950 GH Neo. Geez, that's a long one to say. So I'm just going to say it in Nippon. So anyway, hitting the two together, I will say ball speed pretty close. Both definitely fast. The Hot Metal came in at 119.1, 119 miles an hour, 119.1 miles an hour. Hot Metal Pro 118.8, but very similar. Saw a lot of the similar numbers. I did see some faster numbers on Hot Metal though. I think the fastest one I saw was like 121, and I never saw a 121 with the Pro. I think I had like 120 was the fastest I ever saw there. So ball speed, Hot Metal definitely a little bit faster by a mile, about a mile an hour when you kind of compared all the shots, and even when you looked at the fastest shot, it was about a mile an hour faster. As for launch, I thought actually they were going to be a little bit further apart than this, but the Hot Metal comes in at 15.6 degrees, and the Hot Metal Pro is 15.2. I felt like the Hot Metal Pro, I kind of hit a fewer flatter shots out there, but they came in right about the same. I think the big thing was, which I get down to starting line, was Hot Metal Pro. I kind of started the ball on a little bit more right line. It wasn't quite, I hit a little bit more draw with the Hot Metal, and I think that kind of brought that flight down overall. Because on kind of straight shots, I felt like the Hot Metal had a little bit higher launch angle, but very close, a little bit higher with the standard Hot Metal. For spin, these are both fairly low spin. I was hitting Strixon Z-Stars. I think this year's model Z-Star for both. I had the same 3 sleeve, threw them on there, so I was hitting the same 3 balls with both clubs. The Hot Metal averaged 48.39, and the Hot Metal Pro 51.58. So about 300 RPM. And again, I think a little bit of that is kind of a straighter to slightly fade shot with the Hot Metal Pro, and a little bit more of a draw shot with the Hot Metal. So, but about 300 RPM spin difference between the clubs for me. Carry distance between the two, the Hot Metal, I averaged 173.3, and the Hot Metal Pro 171.5. So yeah, about 2 yards longer with the standard Hot Metal. And then I felt like that was kind of, it was longer the whole time. Just every shot after shot, I felt like, I noticed that it was a little bit longer than the Hot Metal Pro. And again, longest to longest, I think it was like about 2 yards. I think I saw 178 with the Hot Metal Pro. I think 176 was about as long a shot as I hit. So I wrote everything down because I didn't have to, the Foresight app in there is a little bit slow on my iPad, so it's just easier to write it down. So I don't have every shot in front of me, but these are all the averages I pulled off it. Now, offline, this was the one that I thought was kind of the biggest difference. And again, kind of noticed this when I looked, each shot, I kind of look at the screen. But the Hot Metal, 8.5 degrees left, where Hot Metal Pro, 2.1 degrees right. So definitely hit the Hot Metal Pro a little bit, straighter to slightly right. And I wonder if that little bit shorter blade length, for whatever reason, just caused me to hit it a little bit more right. It was interesting because I noticed I hit a couple more fades with the Hot Metal Pro than I did with the Hot Metal. The Hot Metal is just easier to turn over a little bit. That could be shaft as well. 2 different shafts there. The Nippon's probably going to be just a little bit softer. But yeah, started the offline. 8.5 degrees left was my average for the Hot Metal, and Hot Metal Pro is 2.1 right. But hit a lot of good shots with the Hot Metal Pro, I do have to say. And then curve on the ball, same thing. Hot Metal, 9 degrees left was my average curve. So hit a little bit more of a draw. It was definitely easy to square up, even with that slightly longer blade length. And the Hot Metal Pro, 1 degree left. I mean, most of my balls were pretty straight, had just like one of those kind of die left or die right. But they were all pretty consistently straight. So, and then Apex, the Hot Metal, 81.2 feet in the air, as opposed to 80.9 feet in the air for the Hot Metal Pro. So, pretty similar. Hot Metal a little bit higher. Nothing crazy, but a little bit higher there with that. Both were still a little bit flat, which is something that I noticed with stronger lofted irons. Since I don't hit a super high ball, I tend to hit them a little bit flatter than other people do. I've noticed that with P790 and T200 and some other ones. I've noticed that I hit those things just a little bit flatter. But between the two, Hot Metal, definitely a little bit longer, a little more distance oriented. I felt like it was a little easier to turn over. Hot Metal Pro, slightly flatter, slightly more spin, and promoted, for me at least, a little bit more of a kind of fade ball flight. So both really, really good. Really impressed with both irons. I think Mizuno did a great job. And if you're somebody looking for more of a distance iron with good feel and all that, these two are definitely two to take a look at. So that is the Mizuno Hot Metal and Hot Metal Pro irons. Yeah, pretty exciting, pretty nice. So excited to hear you guys' thoughts as well, and see what you guys think about these irons. All right, so got done with irons. The next thing I want to talk about is something that's not an iron. It is something that I've had for a little while, and I haven't been able to use until just recently, but I got a new rain jacket, and it is possibly the best rain jacket I've ever owned. Now, I'll be honest that I got this jacket sent to me for free. I didn't pay for it, but I've owned a handful of rain jackets in my life that I have paid for, and they've all kind of been crappy. They've all been fine for like, if it rains for 2 holes, and you take it off and you're fine. I've never had a real rain jacket that's literally been able to keep you dry for, a long round. And the funny thing is I haven't golfed it in the rain, but I wore it in the rain, and then I golfed in it while it was cool out because I haven't actually been out golfing when it's actually rained. I've just either, and for me, usually, like if I'm out playing and it just rains, like, okay, fine. I'll just keep playing. I'll put my rain stuff on and I'll go play. But yeah, I'm not going to go out and play if it is raining. I haven't played a course that is, is that good. But early in the year, I had a rain jacket that I wore for like 11 holes, and it just literally soaked through. I was like literally soaked. Like nothing was dry. And the folks at Galvin Green reached out and said, "Hey, you noticed that had a rain jacket that didn't quite work?" And they're like, "We'd love to get you a proper rain jacket." So I was very fortunate. They sent me the brand new, just came out, the brand new Galvin Green Ames waterproof coat. So this is the Ames jacket, which is brand new from them. I think it just came out last week. This is the navy and gray one. I know it's going to be kind of tough to, if you're watching this on YouTube, to watch me like set it up here. But yeah, this is the navy and gray one. Really good look. Fit is a little different. I had to, like, when they asked me, I had to kind of tell them, like, I've never really worn your stuff, so I don't know what the fit is like. And from what I understand, you kind of got a slimmer, narrower cut to it. But they were really cool. Talked to them a little bit, and we got dialed in. So listen, I'm short. I'm 5'9", but I'm like 260 pounds, and it's all in my stomach. Like I got the beer gut. It's just what I have. So I'm just a fat guy. So when I wear stuff, like, it is just hard to get around. I wear a size like 40 pant, and I pretty much wear double XL shirts so they can, go over my stomach and be tucked in. With Galvin Green, I did have to go with the triple X. So I tried the double X. It was just a little bit too tight, and the triple X is really good, and they've got a bunch of adjustability features on here that you can really dial it in to fit you. But I love the fact too, this is not like crappy nylon. It doesn't make a ton of noise. It's got a little bit, but nothing there. But the big thing, so this is the Ames jacket, and this has got their new material, which is called Driver Waterproof Technology, DRYVR. And it's got a material called, it's a Pertex Shield 3-layer stretch. So it's 100% waterproof. It's highly breathable, and it's the stretchiest waterproof they've ever made, from what they said. So 3-layer fabric, but it's got a soft feel to it. And I do have to say, I first put it on, and I was like, it feels pretty good. And then actually swung in it, and it is the first jacket I can actually swing in. I'll just flat out admit it. I've had jackets by 4 other companies. Every one of them I've hated wearing. When it started to rain, I'd put it on. I hated swinging with it. I just felt so restricted, so tight, like I couldn't move. And this is the first jacket that I feel like I can actually swing with. So this material here, definitely stretchy, but it's kind of like deceiving when you first like grab it. Like, it's not like, I don't know, it's not like a t-shirt type material that you just go, but it has a little stretch to it. And I was out there playing, so the thing is, I haven't golfed with it in the rain, but I've worn it in the rain. I've worn it golfing, just separate things. And for golf, I basically had it in my bag, and was basically out on a cool day. And it was a cool morning out in Bella Vista. Threw it on because I brought nothing. I literally rolled out there with just like polo and shorts because it was going to get warm by the end of the day, but in the morning it was chilly. And so I threw this on. I had nothing else, and I was kind of like nervous about it. And honestly, really, really good. So it definitely is stretchy. When you put it on, you feel like it's like that little bit of tightness, and you go, oh no, this is, I'm not gonna be able to swing. And then as soon as you take the club back, the jacket just goes with you. Like, it just really does stretch with you, and it definitely doesn't restrict anywhere near as much as any other jacket I've had. It really does work with you. I've actually felt like this is the closest to swinging in just a polo shirt that I've ever done. Really, really solid. I like the stretch of it. And honestly, it fits really well. Like I said, it's got little Velcro stuff on the sides that you can dial in the sides. So you can take this Velcro stuff on the right around the kind of the ribs and pull in anything in the midsection that might be too long. When you go into the what do you call it? The sleeves on it. You go down, of course, it's got the Velcro on the sleeves, so you can kind of tighten those up and get them to where you need them when wearing a glove and such. But it's really got a bunch of great little adjustments like that. There's no hood on it or anything, which is fine. You don't really wear a hood when you're golfing anyway. But just kind of a higher collar that does fit around the neck really well, so water doesn't necessarily fall behind you. And yeah, it's just been a really good fit. I mean, it really is even for a body like mine that isn't built for what I think Galvin Green makes their stuff for. Fits me really well on swings. Chipping, putting, whatever, jackets are fine. But full swings, like I said, this is the first jacket I felt comfortable with that I didn't put on and just hate the round, like loathe going to play. After swinging the first swing, I was like, wow, I can actually hit shots with this. I can actually swing. I don't feel like the minimum amount of rotation that my body has for my swing is really restricted in any way. Like it's crazy. I don't feel like before I'd feel like I was taking half swings with everything, and this one I really feel like I can swing pretty much the way I swing, which is awesome. So I really do like the fit. I think it fits really well. It's really comfortable, and it is fairly breathable. I do have to say. I mean, if it gets hotter out, like I eventually took it off playing because it did get warm enough, but it did keep me actually a little bit warm, and I never felt like just condensation in the jacket. Some of these jackets, like if it's warm out, it just feels like everything's stewing inside the jacket, like you're just kind of like a sausage cooking. Definitely has some breathability to it. I never felt that way when it was cool out. It felt great, and then as it warmed up, I got to a point where it was warm. I took it off, but it was never like I never felt like unzipping it and going like the steam came out or anything like that. So it definitely feels breathable. And then when it comes to waterproof, I basically it was pouring rain. It was actually down at the cottage a few weeks ago. I think it was down there. It was kind of beginning of August, I think. And we were there, and it had like 2 days where it like rained in the evening, but didn't really rain during the day. So I basically put my jacket on and walked down to the dock and walked out there and just walked around and just kind of walked around in the rain for no real reason other than to see, is this thing really waterproof? And it really is. Like I came back. The only parts on me that were wet were my hat and my head, and everything else. Everything under here was perfectly dry. Again, breathability was really good. Water just hits and just runs off, and then even the spots that do look like they kind of absorb in or get wet, there was nothing in there. I mean, all these seams are fully taped. There's nothing there that this thing, but everything stayed dry. There wasn't a drop of water anywhere near near me, and like it was pouring. Like I went out there, it was way heavier rain than I would ever play in, and I just used it as a flat out raincoat. And it worked really, really well. Water was just running off the thing, even on kind of like the shoulders. And I hunch over a little bit, so the water kind of catches up on the shoulders a lot for me. Nothing. Bone dry, totally fine. Just really, really dry, and didn't even think about it. I mean, by the time I got back, checked my shirt, all that, nothing. We were completely dry on there. The collar kind of almost has a little bit of shaping to it, and it wraps around your neck really well, so you don't get too much water in behind your neck. With like my other jackets, they kind of collars that you either had to like fold way up or fold down. This one here actually fits really, really well, and it kind of has a little contour to it to kind of fit around your neck and go kind of below your hairline on the back, and then up a little higher over on the sides. So it does keep a lot of that water out, and you don't get a lot of stuff kind of running down your neck and in, especially if you're wearing like wearing a hat or something like that. But zippers work flawless. They're nice and smooth. The only thing there's nothing about it that I can say that I would change. I mean, it's got two decent sized pockets that are totally covered with flaps, so they don't get wet. If you store a glove or something like that in there, anything that you're going to put in stays dry. And overall, it is just, again, like I said, the first rain jacket I've ever enjoyed wearing. I just have never liked wearing a rain jacket, and this one here is just. It's awesome. I mean, it really is. It almost makes me like, I wouldn't say hope it rains, but it almost makes me go like, if it's going to just sprinkle, like let's go play. Like I'm fine with it. I'm not going to be bothered. But again, really, really solid. The waterproof is phenomenal. This whole Pertex shield, it definitely works, with everything about it, where it's, basically it's got this, membrane in it that kind of like pulls water molecules and all that. It definitely works, and it stays dry. And like I said, I was out in rain that there's no way I'd golf in, and just using it as a raincoat there, and then just as a piece to wear on a slightly cooler day, it worked really well. And there's not a lot of restriction for swings. So this is the first piece of Galvin Green clothing that I have ever worn. They also actually sent me 2 polos, and I'll tell you what, the polos are phenomenal. They're kind of like this thin, lightweight material that just breathes really well. When you sweat hard in it, it just, absorbs the sort of just kind of pulls the sweat away from your body. I've just been a big fan of everything they've done. Now, I do have to wear XXX stuff and all they wear and all their stuff, but I do have to say that it is really, really nice. And the people at Galvin Green have made a really, really nice jacket and some really, really nice polos. I've been super impressed. I understand why the stuff is so expensive now. It's high quality, and it does exactly what they say it could do. So this is the Ames jacket, AMES jacket that just came out. It's brand new. They make it in like 4 colors. I think they make it in this is the navy and gray. They also make it in just a straight navy one that doesn't have the gray accents under the arms or anything. It's just got, just straight navy the whole way. And then they make a black and red, a white, and a kind of a light royal blue as well. So, and then for the ladies, they make a version for them just called the Amy. So they have an Amy version that's for them. It's made out of the same material. And then pants wise, there's an Allen pant that you can get that matches. So they make a complete suit out of it. Again, not crazy cheap, but I totally understand why. Like it is something totally different than I've ever worn, and it really works well. So definitely impressed with the Galvin Green Ames jacket. It's just been a real kind of pleasure, and I'm excited. Now we're getting into fall as well, so I could see this just being a piece where, if it's a little damp out, whatever. I mean, this is definitely going to go into the rotation pretty quickly. We've just thankfully had a fairly dry summer when it comes to the times I've been golfing. So if you go to galvingreen.com, GalvinGreen, check out the Ames jacket. It's really good. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's got the that little bit of flex, allows you to swing, and it keeps you dry. So it does exactly what they say. But it is a phenomenal jacket, and if you go there, you can kind of check out more, see more about the technology, the waterproofing, all that. But it's got everything everything that you'd want. You can really dial in the fit with the different Velcro straps and stuff like that. You can really dial in the fit as well. So really impressed with it. I think they've done a heck of a job, and I'm in love with it. I think it works great, and I'm a big fan of the Ames jacket. So that is all I've got today. Hopefully you guys had a good week. Get ready for a good weekend. Hopefully you're playing some golf. Like I said, I'm playing a charity scramble, so that'll be fun. But then we get into next week, and next week I've got a little travel on the docket. So I'm going to go out and check out some new stuff, which is pretty awesome. I'm starting to talk to some companies about setting up these media trips to go out and see the brand new product, the 2025 product. So for me, this is going to be an exciting time of year. But I'm going to have a little travel, but it should be all right. And I'll be heading out. So that's all I've got. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, please. If you don't, please do at Club Junkie Pod. If you do want to watch this on YouTube, watch me hold up stuff in front of the camera. Just search Club Junkie or Golf the BX Radio, and please like, subscribe anywhere you listen or follow along. So anyway, it's all I've got. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk next week, and enjoy.